And we are live.
Excellent. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special live episode of The Gap. I'm your host, Legion Rex, a.k.a. Matthew. And with me, I have my standard co-host, Shane, a.k.a. The Bearded One. How are you doing today, Shane?
Hello, Matthew. I am here today, once again, for another exciting rendition of the G.A.P. Anime Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about anime, because who'd have fucking thought, right?
Who'd
have fucking thought that on an anime podcast, we'd be talking about anime? Okay, alright.
I thought we were talking about vegetables.
I thought we'd be talking about stew.
Stew.
And not like the food, my Uncle Stew.
Uncle Stew. And with us, we also have Spencer. How are you doing today, Spencer?
Hey, Matt, I've been on here enough. Can I just be called, like, the co-host?
Co-host.
We will call you the reoccurring guest. Reoccurring guest Spencer.
I'll take it for now.
Reoccurring guest star.
Hi, it's me. It's noon, and I've been up for like 4 hours.
I've been up for 6. Get on my level.
I
was up at 6, and then 7, and then 8, and I decided to stay up.
I know that. Anime. All for
anime.
Anime.
So we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to be giving out our end of season awards. We're going to be talking about some news that broke over the past couple of weeks, and we're also going to be discussing our featured anime, which, if you can see from the screen up, it's Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad.
Mongolian Chop Squad, dude.
Mongolian Chop Squad. And with that, let's get right into things. All right, so another season of anime has come and gone. So the spring season is pretty much over. We still have a couple of shows that need to wrap up. But other than that, we're pretty much like in the end game. So I think it's pretty much time to give out our end of season awards. If you were here for the end of the winter season, you probably know how this works. But for those who don't, we have a series of awards that we give out for at the end of the season, which discuss our best, our worsts, what we think, what surprised us, what disappointed us, what was the best looking shows, all that fun stuff of the season. And we have the same awards as last time, along with a brand new one as well. But let's get right into the things. All right, we're gonna start off with Shane here.
Oh, so yes, Shane, hello, I am Shane.
Shane, what was, in your opinion, what anime had the best animation of the spring 2018 season?
Okay, so best animation is a hard one, because to me, and I'm sure a lot of other people would agree, when talking about animation, to me it includes both art and animation. Not only the art style, but also how that art style is portrayed through motion. So I could pick the easy answer, but instead I'm going to give best animation to Megalobox, because good goddamn, this show is gorgeous from top to bottom. Every episode looks incredible. It's one of the most consistently good shows, both just in general, but also animation-wise. There is not a single episode in this series so far that has looked out of place or rushed. Every frame is so intricately detailed, like it just oozes off the screen. And the art style in general is just fantastic. So I could have given it to My Hero, because My Hero has had some really stellar animation this season, but
I agree.
In terms of just overall art, I have to give it to Megalobox. Like, there's no contest.
All right, good choice. Spencer, what was your pick for best animation of the season?
Best animation of the season for me would have to also go to Megalobox, specifically because this is an anime that looks like it stepped directly out of the late 80s to early 90s era of anime.
This show looks like if Bebop was made in 2018.
And it
looked like it was from the 90s.
Yeah.
It has a very rough and grimy art style to it, but the animation itself also isn't extremely fluid.
But it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, but it's not supposed to be. It's this kind of show where the look and the way that everything moves in it is purposefully kind of toned back so that it could almost be played on a VHS, and it would make sense in my mind to have this as like a VHS tape you can get from like Blockbuster.
Well, it looks like something that would play perfectly on a
One thing
CRT TV.
One thing I actually loved about it was the fact that they purposely descaled it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
it
they
looks
did.
purposely descaled. It purposely descaled in order to like look like something that was on like an old TV.
And I know it sounds weird that we're talking about, how they purposely made it look worse. But in doing so, they gave it its own look that fits so well with the subject matter. And as a person who watched the original Ashita no Joe, this looks outstanding.
Like
It
the way
looks like it belongs in that era.
like the way they handled it with the descaling to make it look like a retro show gives it its own unique style that I don't think any other series has ever had. Like other
really
than
does.
like Bebop or series from the late 90s. I don't think, especially nowadays, I don't think any show could come close to this kind of style,
Yeah, I know, but we haven't gotten this stuff in a while. So,
Well,
my
Matt,
pick- yeah,
what
my
about
pick-
you?
Okay, so this season was actually because this was a good season for animation. Just animation in general. It came down between 3 shows for me, and those 3. And if you have been following the G.A.P, you probably know which shows I'm talking about. It came between Megalobox, My Hero, and Comic Girls. Those are the 3 that really impressed me with their animation this season. But I'm with you guys. I have to give it the Megalobox because, I mean, it's like you said. I have never seen a show that has replicated this look so well before, and it brings me back to the days of when the old school cell animation, like the cell animation OVAs that were really popular back in the day. That like obviously from like the early to mid 90s that were really grimy, really gritty. Like it reminded me of that stuff, and I love that stuff. But not only that, but it was also very modern because it's very fluid. The fight scenes are fucking incredible. Oh my god, the fight scenes are incredible. The character designs are great. Love the background art of this. It's just a fucking gorgeous looking show. And it impressed the hell out of me. And impressed the fuck out of me.
We'll talk more about Megalobox later, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll talk more about Megalobox, depending on if it's on anyone else's. But Spencer, what anime surprised you the most this season? What was your biggest surprise?
This is gonna be interesting.
There was a bunch of them that genuinely surprised me. But I'm going to go with Comic Girls as the anime that surprised me the most.
Okay.
Were you thinking I was going to say Ore?
I was thinking you were going to say Ore.
Probably, yeah.
I'm just saying Comic Girls because because it didn't surprise me because I knew it was going to be as good as
So Ore was exactly what I expected it to be. I expected it to be this kind of satire on the magical girl genre, but done in this outlandish way.
Well, yeah, it's pretty obvious from the first scene. It's going to go that
what
way.
What you see is what you get.
It's written right on the can. Like
Episode 5, though.
Yeah, episode 5. But anyways, Comic Girls, I came in and I was like, okay, it's a manga about 4 girls living, so it's an anime about 4 girls living in a house together. They all draw manga, blah, 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 whatever. But I wasn't expecting to feel joy when I watched this. Happiness. Something that a lot of that some animes kind of go away from now because they want to be that gritty, dark kind of feeling to it. Comic Girls is exactly what I needed. It's this light, happy anime, and it surprised me extremely.
Mm-hmm.
Wahoo!
Nice. All right, Shane. What was your biggest surprise of the winter season?
Okay. Oh, jeez.
Like a lot of good. There's a lot of stuff that's actually this was a surprisingly good season.
A really solid season, just in general. But I'd have to say the one that surprised me the most was a little show called Hinamatsuri.
This I haven't seen this yet, but
yeah,
I am
need
so sad that neither of you have picked this up yet, because holy fuck did it surpass all my expectations. Granted, I had no idea what the show was going to be. I just knew that it was going to be like a really over-the-top comedy with some supernatural elements.
I've heard it's not as over-the-top as expected, but like...
It works on Looney Tunes logic. Like,
oh.
all of the fucking characters are either incompetent or just flat out stupid.
I love that shit,
And they have no idea what the hell they're doing, except maybe one guy. And even then, it's questionable. But
I've seen the Owie compilations.
Oh my god, it's so fucking
stitches.
Like, the first thing I can say about the show is that it's genuinely one of the funniest shows I've seen in a long time. Like, I can't even count at this point, because we're like, I'm watching the simuldub. They're like 10 episodes in. I can't even count how many times I actually laughed out loud at some of the ridiculous shit that goes on in the show, and it's consistent. Like, every episode has me laughing more and more, and it just keeps building throughout the season. And on top of that, on top of just this ridiculous humor and this absurd logic, it also has a surprising amount of character and heart to it. Like, the characters, sure, are all horrifically flawed in their own stupid ways, but they're people. They make them feel like people that you could run into on the street, have a conversation with, and get to know what they're all about, what drives them, such and such. And it's surprisingly emotional. Like, it's made me laugh so many times, but it's also made me cry quite a few times.
Oh, shit.
Because it perfectly balances its humor with its more serious themes. It's also very... I don't know what the word... It's also very topical. Like, it directly parodies or satires things that are actually happening in Japan. Like, it references the homeless situation, it references the school system, it references the Yakuza. Like, I don't know what fucking planets align to make this show as horrifically balanced as it is, but goddamn, I'm so sad that it's ending soon, because I just want more.
Season 2, maybe?
Hopefully, because I went into the show expecting nothing, and I got everything and then some. So, definitely Hinamatsuri, biggest surprise this season for me. Yeah. It's genuinely one of my favorites.
Alright, so, so for me, when I was thinking of my biggest surprise, I was trying to think, what anime did I watch this season that at the beginning of the season I would not have expected myself to watch? And the one show that came into mind for me was a little show that I really had no interest in at all until I saw the first episode casually, just like on a whim, and I thought, and I said to myself, "Holy crap, I'm gonna watch this!" And that's Gigi no Kitaro.
Kitaro.
I had I had no idea that Kitaro could be this good. Because not only was I like Shane, I was still salty over the loss of Super.
Mm-hmm.
But also I really had no interest in Kitaro because I knew it was part of a franchise that was long running. I had never seen the other shows, so I told myself, like, why would I ever watch this? It's going to be a long runner, so if I start it, I have to stick with it, basically. But then I watched the first episode, and then the second and the third, and I just keep the thing I love about Kotaro is that for a show aimed at children, it is not afraid to like scare the fuck out of you. Like this is there are things in Kotaro that are genuinely scary. Like that train episode.
Oh, the fucking
genuinely
episode,
scary. That was a genuinely scary episode.
Oh yeah.
Not only that, but there's so much charm to it. There's so much. The characters are fucking great.
Cat Chick, best.
Cat Chick's great. Cat Chick's great. Kataro's great. They're all.
Fucking the sleazeball that is Ratman.
The Ratman, the sleazeball. Like, plus the animation is amazing.
The animation is surprisingly high quality for a long-running shonen from Toei.
Toei. It reminds me of when Super was at its best. Like, you know when Super was at its best? It was, like, gorgeous to look at? This is that on every episode. It's ridiculous.
I wouldn't say every episode, but it's definitely a lot more consistent than Super was, especially early on.
Yeah, this is a stellar looking show. And it's probably, and plus I just love it's one of the few shows that, like, you would think it would get boring after a while because it's kind of episodic at times, but they for every episode they come up with something cool and unique to do with the premise, and I can see time will tell to see if it lives up to that. But honestly, I'm all in. I'm all in with Kotaro right now, and I'm very, very happy I picked this up. And it actually makes me to go back. It makes me want to go back and find the older stuff and
who knows the older stuff might even be better. Like, who knows?
Might be. Obviously this series is popular for a reason, so it is probably some good shit there.
Yeah.
Is this the third time it's been remade? Or
this is like the seventh, dude.
Seventh? Jesus.
It's been around since the 60s.
It's been around since the 60s. It's a Japanese cultural icon. So it's
like
one of those things.
This series in particular is like a 50th anniversary type thing.
Yeah, that's why it's a big deal in Japan.
That's why it took Super's time slot.
Because it's a big Kataro's actually doing better than Super did in the ratings, so that should tell you a lot about how popular Kotaro is in Japan. So,
hey, we get the movie in December, so I can't complain.
We do get the movie.
It was originally known as Kitaro of the Graveyard, and 1960 by Shigeru Mizuki.
Yeah, with every surprise must come a disappointment. So not everything impresses us this season, and even though this was a good season, there were actually a couple of things that were kind of surprisingly disappointing this season. But let's start with Shane. Shane, what was your biggest disappointment of the spring 2018 season?
I think it's obvious. I know Spencer's going to agree with me because we've turned it into a meme, basically. P5, the disappointment. What happened, man? I was never expecting P5, the animation, to be as good as the game that it's based on, but I was expecting more than what we actually got. And sure, the first 2 or 3 episodes, I was definitely into it. But as I kept going, week after week, watching more and more of it, it's slow realization arrived in my head that I don't think I'm gonna get any more enjoyment out of this. This is clearly just an inferior version of the events that happened in the game. And if you have access to the game, there is literally zero reason to watch this adaptation. There is zero reason.
It's a cash grab. 100%.
It's a cash grab. If you played P5 or you have the opportunity to play P5, do that 100 times out of 100, because honestly, there is zero reason to watch the show. None.
So
that's all I have to say.
Hey, you there, audience. If you have a PS3 or a PS4, save yourself the time and brain cells and just buy Persona 5. This will probably get, in my honest opinion, maybe a 5 or a 6 out of 10. Because if this anime didn't exist, nothing would change.
Nothing would have changed.
The game would still be made. The game would still be amazing.
And you could still play the game and enjoy it immensely.
Aside from, as Matt and Shane said, a cash grab, there is no reason for this anime to exist. And it pains me to say that, because I love Persona.
We were so hyped for this adaptation,
dude.
We were so excited. And what the funny thing is, too, is that when the first episode aired, I was the only one who had concerns about it, too. Like, when the first episode aired, both of you loved the first episode.
I didn't think it was stellar or anything, but I thought it was a really good introduction.
I was the most negative about that first episode. And now in hindsight, I'm like, told you. I don't want to say I told you so.
Don't fucking say it.
I don't want to say I told you so, but I fucking told you so.
Don't fucking say it. I will end the stream right now. I'm moving my mouse over the stop stream button.
Cut it. We'll restart.
Cut it. Bam. Okay. We're not airing anymore. Matt, you need to get your fucking shit together. Okay.
Honestly,
I get it. You're the host. You're the host and everything. You think you're a big shot, but guess what? I'm running this operation.
You're making us look bad.
You fuck with me. You fuck with your livelihood. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Let's
restart the stream.
Let's start the show again.
Okay.
And we're live.
Hey, so speaking of Persona, I was actually a fan of the P4 anime. I thought it was pretty good.
I never saw
this one. This one was not good. This one was disappointing, and it deserves to be on that list. Okay, Matt's turn.
I can't believe I got through 7 episodes of this before I realized, this is going nowhere.
No. Now, I would actually agree with you that P5 would be the biggest disappointment this season. However, at least P5, I can still derive some enjoyment of it because I love the character. I still love the characters. I still think that the animation overall is still pretty fucking great. And the fight scenes are stellar. And it keeps the soundtrack from the games, too, which I think is actually the best part of the show, is the fact that they, at the very least, they recaptured that feeling of Persona. They recapture the feeling. So it's a success on that front. So I can't really say it's my biggest disappointment because there was one show this season that shat the bed so hard, especially recently, that I can't ignore it. And that is my biggest disappointment of the spring 2018 season, and that is the wonderful, possibly upcoming train wreck that is Darling in the Franxx. That over the course of 3 episodes shat itself so hard that it dropped my possible score for the series by nearly 3 points. This is a show that has gone guilty crown on our asses. This is a show that I know that if you had asked me at the beginning of the season what what might be one of my animes of the entire year, I would say Darling in the Franxx.
Now it's just Ava for stupid people.
Now it is. It's another. It's a perfect example of what happens when you get when you get 2 studios involved that both have very different ideas on what this show should be, and you also get a creative staff that apparently, I read about this, was given full creative control without any supervision whatsoever.
Maybe they needed it.
And also a show, and it was also a show that this show's been in the works for a while, apparently too. Like, this is a passion project for a lot of people. I mean, you can tell, but at the same time, it very much suffers from a lot of the same problems that I feel plague a lot of today's other anime. It features it has a stupid ass twist, an over explanation of lore that never needed to be explained. This is the third. It is the third show in a row that I've seen in the past couple of months that have aliens as a plot twist.
Aliens,
Like first Blast of Tempest, and now this.
It was always aliens. It was never anything else. The Klaxosaurs are the good guys.
Do you guys remember for like 3 weeks in a row when all three of us are like, "This is the best episode of Darling. This is the best." No, this is the best. Oh, dude,
episode. That was like from 13. From episode 13 up to like 18. That string of episodes just kept getting better and better.
And we're like, "This is the best," and then it fucking turned around and spat in our face and laughed.
And then 19 happened. And literally, Dr. Franks shat himself so hard that he became a robot. And apparently, we can just inject magma into our bloodstream to make us immortal, but we can't fuck or have kids.
We can't have kids anymore, so let's just have... Wait, what do you mean the robots that I designed accidentally killed my girlfriend because we need 2 people?
Wait,
what the fuck's that?
What do you mean that the robots that I designed are literally just Klaxosaurs? Because the Klaxosaurs aren't beasts. They are another form of humans they are another form of humans that ride in mechs just like we do. So the Franks are actually Klaxosaurs.
What are you talking about? Ape is actually aliens that have plans to take over existence.
An alien entity that steals people's souls and collects them into a fucking intergalactic mass that takes over solar systems.
Oh, hello, anti-spiral.
Can we move on, please?
This is a mess. This show's a fucking mess.
In the 3 episodes, and the worst part of it is that after those 3 episodes, you actually go back and like think about the rest of the show, and then you're like, Did they really know what they were doing?
Did they ever know what they were doing with this to begin with? Were we just blind? Like...
No, because they have a lot of really good individual episodes, but if you think about it, like...
I was going to say, I went back and I rewatched some of the old episodes, and there is no internal consistency of logic in this show. Things just happen. I think no reason.
I think deep down we knew this from the beginning, but we were enjoying it so much that we never wanted to admit it until they slapped us in the fucking face with their cocks.
Yeah, because it was so much fun, and so well animated. Also, I think the animation's taken kind of a nosedive too.
A little bit.
Early. Yeah, no, because like in the action scenes, it's still really good, but like outside of it, like gone are the really good character movements. Gone are the constant background movement. Gone is the like there's a lot of still frames now. A lot of that. Like the budget took a nosedive, and it's
you know what though. Oof. I'm also gonna say one more thing about this, and then I'm done because this is getting angry. Going back and rewatching the old episodes to now, there's no what the fuck happened to the character motivations? They just change. Character motivations change from episode to episode. And I was so blinded by the fact that I was enjoying the story they were trying to tell that I come here and I'm like, man, Hiro, our main character, is a fucking idiot. Like, he's actually, like, mentally retarded.
He's not thinking with his head. He's thinking...
Okay? He has these people, okay? This group in which he gave them their... He named these people. And then all of a sudden a hot pink-haired chick comes out of nowhere from his childhood that he didn't remember. And he's like, man, fuck these guys. I'm just going to leave you all for this pink-haired chick. He's not
thinking with his head. He's thinking with his head.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying.
Zorome and Miku are the best characters and the only characters that make goddamn sense in this anime.
And even then, they're pointless now. They don't do anything.
Yeah, they don't do anything.
They're just there.
Like Zorome used to do shit.
What happened to Goro and Ichigo shit? Like one of the best episodes of the show is when was about Ichigo and Goro confessing to Ichigo. That was just a really fucking good episode.
And then they just
never bring it up again. They never bring it up again. They bring it up once in the next episode, but they haven't brought it up since.
And then a couple of episodes go by, and Ichigo's all of a sudden like, I love you, Hiro. Stay with me. And Goro's like, well, guess I'm still going to be a bro. And then he's like, go, save Hiro. And I'm like, fuck you. This doesn't make fucking sense internally with your goddamn character motivations. This show shat the bed so bad the highest for me it can get right now is a 6.
I don't know.
dropped
It's at a 7 right now for me. So.
3 points for me.
Alright. Alright. So after that, clusterfuck. Spencer.
Yes.
What was your guilty pleasure show?
Oh boy.
'Cause I have mine.
Oh boy. Okay. My guilty pleasure show of the season is Magical Girl Ore. Because guilty pleasure doesn't have to mean it's a bad show.
Oh, no.
I mean, fucking Pop Team Epic is a guilty pleasure. And that's a great show. But Magical Girl Ore is a show that fills me with joy, even though, for all intents and purposes, it's not a good show. Like, it's telling a pretty rudimentary story, but there's just something about the way that the jokes fit and the characters and all that I just love. For God's sakes, they made a School Days reference. They played the opening of their episode after some shit went down was a still image of a boat on the water, and it just said, "Nice boat." Like, Pop Team made the same reference. And it's just, it was one episode was about making an episode in which a mangaka / anime director fell off a bridge into the water because he was playing Pokemon Go and came back as a villain. It's just, the whole show is stupid, but it's so stupid that it just fills you with joy.
Excellent choice. All right, Shane.
Yes, hello.
What was your guilty pleasure of the season?
Okay, I've talked about this on the podcast and just in general.
Oh, I know what it is.
My guilty pleasure for the season is called Butler's Cross Battlers, or Butler's X Battlers. Doesn't matter. The show's fucking dumb. I've talked about it on the G.A.P before, where like it's about this guy named Jay who is a butler who is part of this bloodline, and the bloodline of butlers are supernatural beings that come from the past that are meant to protect the blood spirit, which is like this. They don't explain it. It's just this holy presence. It's very powerful. You must protect it. That's your purpose. It's part of the bloodline. Something happens to the blood spirit that causes Jay and a couple other butlers to be sent 100 years into the future, into another world. And then Jay goes to his high school. He meets up with this group of boys. They become the student council. Up until like episode 7, maybe, it's played completely seriously. Like, it's supposed to be a very serious supernatural drama where the whole story is Jay just wants to go back to the past to save his sister, who was taken by the blood spirit. That's all it is. It's just Jay trying to go back to the past. Up until like episode 7, or maybe 8. I don't even remember at this point. Like, this show has killed brain cells, actually. There's this revelation that his best friend, Haruto, is also a butler. Like, it's revealed that he's a butler, he's part of the bloodline, he has powers. At that point, I was like, okay, I can accept this, because, you know, best friend connection, I get it. He's a butler, cool. Subsequently, in the next episode, it's revealed that everyone in the main cast, including an owl, is a fucking butler. Every single character. Jay's a butler. His best friend is a butler. The rest of the student council is a butler. The guy who runs the coffee shop is a butler. His grandfather was originally a butler. That's where he lies in the bloodline. But apparently his grandfather's spirit can possess things and becomes an owl to tell him that he's part of the bloodline. The headmaster, who, spoilers, is the main villain, is also a butler and is responsible for everything that's happened up until this point, because shocker. Sherlock Holmes is a fucking butler. Because there's characters that are part of the school reporting team Holmes and Watson, which is literally just Holmes and Watson. They're both butlers, because of course. And it went from, like, super fucking serious to just dead stupid, like, brain dead. Like, at this point, I'm just watching it to see how much stupider it can get.
Is it fun still, though?
It is still fun to watch, I will give it that. But after that point, it's just fucking idiotic. Like, nothing makes sense. They're just throwing shit at a wall until it sticks. But I gotta admit, I still enjoy watching it, even though I know it's probably become the stupidest show I've watched all season, and that's including Ore.
And Ore is
meant to be stupid.
Ore is... Yeah.
Yeah, Ore is meant to be stupid.
Ore is meant to be stupid. This was played completely seriously until just one episode. They're like, hey, what if every single character was a butler? What would happen?
No, and because of that, here's the thing. Because of Ore purposely being stupid, I can't say it's my guilty pleasure, because it does exactly what it sets out to do.
Yeah.
And you know what you do and get into it. So I can't... It's like saying Pop Team is your guilty pleasure. Like, no, that's you know exactly what you're getting into there. So, but for me, guilty pleasure derives something that you know probably isn't good, but you enjoy it anyways for some kind of reason. And for me, the anime that was my guilty pleasure is a little show that I think I'm the only one who watched it this season. It's a show called Caligula.
No, I'm watching Caligula, actually.
It was Caligula, which is a show that, for all intents and purposes, is not great. There's a lot of the animation is not spectacular. There's some very problematic elements in the plot that I feel people glossed over. There's a lot of stuff that just happened because virtual world. So just they use the excuse of virtual world so they can just get away with whatever they feel they need to, which means there's a lot of shit just kind of happens at times. But I don't know, something about Caligula made me. I'm really enjoying Caligula. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can't really explain it. But for a show that, for all intents and purposes, is based on a game that's basically a poor man's Persona, I enjoyed it more than the Persona anime.
Wow. Wow. It's got a cool concept, and some of the fight scenes are pretty cool, and it's got a baller of an opening. So it's one of those things where I enjoy it more as like a turn your brain off, have fun kind of show, and less of like an actual good show. Like, it's not good. I think that by the end of it, I'm probably not going to give it that high of a ranking. It's not great. It's not that good. But like, I really enjoy watching it, though. All right. Caligula was one of those things that I was interested in, just never got around to.
Yeah, I would definitely, if you want to turn your brain off and just kind of enjoy a dumb series that's kind of trippy, while also having a lot of really, it's less about like the plot and more about like cool scenarios, then definitely watch Caligula. And with that, we come to our final two, rankings. We pick our best and worst shows of the season. Let's start with worst, because we want to end this on I want to end this on a good note. Let's start with our worst of season. Let's start with Spencer.
Yeah, please start with Spencer.
I'm actually very curious to see what Spencer's what's your worst of season, Spencer?
This is going to sound really weird because I'm constantly talking it up.
Mm-hmm.
But the worst show I've seen of this season is Dances with the Dragons.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's both of ours too.
Because, and here's my reasoning, it's different from you two because Shane specifically dropped it and you already aren't really hot on it.
Yeah.
For those of you, just for you guys, because you don't know, I don't want to tell you guys that much, I'm on episode 9 of Dances with the Dragons, so I'm almost done the whole show.
Man, that's impressive because I dropped it after episode 2.
Yeah.
I was very, very excited for this anime. and you both know that.
It looked good. It looked really good, dude.
It looked really good. I was really excited. I got past the first 4 or 5 episodes, and I was like, no, guys, it's still good. It still got something, you know, it's still okay.
Is that a tone of denial I hear in your voice, Spencer?
It was. Because, truth be told, this is not a good anime.
No, it's not.
But what makes it the worst for me is that it had the ability to be a great anime.
Yeah.
It had the potential, and it didn't
live up
to it.
It had the potential. But you have, as much as I do like some of the characters, you have some really despicable characters. And I'm not even talking about like how they might act or what they might do. I'm talking like story-wise, you have some despicable characters. The story doesn't make any sense, and I'm 9 episodes in, and it's still they ended one part of the show without actually solving anything. They killed the big bad, and that's it. Nothing fucking happened after that. They solved nothing in this anime. All it is a really interesting concept. The Japanese voices are pretty good. I still personally like Gaius better than...
Look, he's falling asleep just talking about it.
I personally still like Gaius more than the other guy.
Oh, fuck. No, fuck that.
No, good.
Yeah, no.
Fuck that.
No, okay. Here's why, okay? Yes, okay, Gaius is that kind of person who, like, who is so devoted to his job and works so hard that he takes it out on everybody. His poor girlfriend, who all she wants to do is love him, but, like, he's, like, constantly trying to enter the bone zone even though she's like, no. Okay, for a human being, he's a terrible person. However, he's infinitely more interesting than Gurgurgun, who has a furniture fetish and likes to fight. That's it. That's his character.
His name is Gagina, by the way.
Gagina.
I don't
Gagina,
care.
it's not Gurgina.
That's how much I like that character. I don't give a fuck about his name. This anime sucks, okay? It's terrible. Don't watch Dances with the Dragons.
Yeah, just don't waste your time. I'm glad I dropped it after 2 episodes, because especially after hearing you talk about it, the one who supposedly liked it for the longest time, I'm glad I dropped it when I did, because
I'm done.
I can live without having this in my life. I can live happily.
There's no consequences to anything that happens except for one of them gets hurt and then comes back to life. That's it. That's fucking it. I hate it. This sucks.
I don't even have to talk about it at this point because Spencer basically said everything.
Dances with the Dragons. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's dead out of a season that's really good. This stands out as easily the worst thing this season, and it's a damn shame too because good concept wasted on shitty writing.
Horrible writing.
The exposition in this show.
Overload of exposition. Like, they will not shut up.
Oh my god. This is the type of exposition that I like. You should show in, like, fucking screenwriting classes on what not to do.
How not to write a screenplay 101. Show them 3 episodes of Dances with the Dragons. Everyone in the lecture hall will want to kill themselves.
As people who are communication film media majors, is the fucking phrase show not tell like one of the most important things in screenwriting?
Yes, absolutely. Like #1 principle when writing a script.
What they do in Dances, they don't show anything. They just talk about it. And it's frustrating.
Because the thing with storytelling is that it is much more effective. Visual storytelling is much more effective than using dialogue or exposition. Sure, sometimes that can enhance the story if it's done well, but an overload of expository dialogue just really bogs the pacing of a story down.
And it's also boring as fuck.
Yeah, it really doesn't grab anyone's attention. It's much more effective to show them what's happening through the visuals, rather than to just write a line in the script like, oh, now the dragon is coming towards us, charging its ultimate attack. Like,
No,
just show the dragon doing that, and you can tell, oh, this is a threat. The dragon's charging up for an attack. They might be in trouble.
No, one of the worst things about like it's in the first episode does this. It has the worst element of it. Is like right after it has like a brief exposition opening, so it's like okay, we have the brief gist of what those world is like. Okay, good. And then the conversation Gaius and Gugina have is nothing but exposition.
Nope.
Nothing but exposition, and you can tell it's really awkward and forced.
So Gaius, you're we're both 13th level Jushikinists. You know, you focus on physically hardening your body because you're a dragon warrior, which is the dragon people. Which, by the way, did you hear that the talks about the peace between the humans and the dragons is going so well? Because of the Splinter Cell group that doesn't like the dragons. That's the conversation.
I'm glad I dropped this show, and I'm not watching it currently.
Now that we're done with the worst, let's pick our anime of the season. I'm pretty sure we all know what it is.
I'm pretty sure we all know. We all have the same one.
We all have the same one, so let's just come out right and say it. Everyone's anime of the season is My Hero Academia.
My Hero Season 3?
No, Magical Girl Sites.
I'm joking. Actually,
you know what? Actually, as someone who got through all of Magical Girl Sight, it actually turned out pretty well.
I've only seen the first episode, so
Magical Girl Sight is the only anime that I've dropped.
So
I didn't even drop that. That just says something about me. But anyway, My Hero.
My Hero.
What is there to say about My Hero at this point?
In the dark.
This is the anime of the season. This is the anime of the season. It's the anime. Is it the anime of the year? I don't know.
Very high contender for anime of the year.
Very high contender. It's got to deal with. It's got to deal with place further. It's my. This is my. Pick. This is definitely my pick of the season. Anime of the season. Probably. Even if it was just for the All for One fight, this would be my anime of the season.
If they cut it there and that was just the season, I'd be fine with it. Because honestly, the quality that they gave us in that first half alone, fuck.
Yeah, this was something, and for a show in its third season to be peaking is so rare. It's so especially in anime, is so rare and unheard of that I'm legitimately in shock that like the anime is still as good as it is, with the same level of quality of animation, quality of storytelling, the great character writing, the stellar soundtrack, just the everything. This is just such a good show. And I'm so happy that it's as good as it is.
And honestly, it's unfair to a lot of the other really good shows this season. Because, of course, if you have My Hero in the listing, it's like, okay, that's obviously going to win. Nothing else contends. But it's like, no, guys, there's other really good stuff other than My Hero. But it's obvious, it's no contest. Like, My Hero,
this is no contest. This was the anime that I not only had the most fun with this season, it was the anime I was raving about most this season, because this was so good, and there's so much that I love about it.
Do you keep your ideals?
I keep my ideals, Razor.
Swear.
No, 10, man.
Yo,
what's going through?
Yeah, we're not getting We're not getting that. The opening's pretty much done.
Yeah.
So, new opening note, which is always fun. I'm excited. For the new.
So not only did My Hero this season go beyond, but it went even further beyond than anything we were ever expecting.
I would give this grade a plus ultra.
I will give My Hero Academia Season 3 a plus ultra out of UA High.
I will give My Hero Season 3 an all for one out of muscular.
I will give Season 3 of My Hero a please don't hurt my ragdoll out of fuck ragdoll has no powers.
Poor Ragdoll.
Poor Ragdoll got fucked.
She's the best. She was my favorite of the Wild Wild Pussycats.
I think mine's Mandalay.
I think mine's Pixie Bob.
Well, there you go. We all have a different. No one picked Tiger. Poor Tiger.
Poor Tiger. I mean, I like Tiger a lot. He had that awesome fight with Mom, but Pixie Bob, dude. All right. So let's And yeah, that's pretty much it for the end of season awards. Now, we're briefly going to go over, very briefly go over the top 3 anime we're looking forward to for the summer season of anime. With one exception, you're not allowed to pick Attack on Titan because Attack on
that's
Titan...
much like My Hero, that's the obvious choice.
So so let's start with Spencer. What are the 3 shows you are most looking forward to in the summer season?
Okay, 3 shows I am most looking forward to are in no actual order. Satsuriko no Tenshi, or I believe it's called Angels of Death. Mm-hmm. Just based off the concept, it looks really interesting, based off a video game. And JC staff always does good work. Number 2 is going to be Banana Fish. It's Studio Mappa, and I like Studio Mappa. So as long as they do their Studio Mappa, also this is apparently it's a really influential manga from the 70s or 80s, and I'm really excited to watch it. And number 3 is going to be Sirius the Jäger, because it just 1930s imperial capital Japan with vampires, and it just looks really good. And with a special mention to Hararaku Saibo, because Osmosis Jones but Japanese looks dope. So
sells at work, boy.
Sells at work. Yeah, that's my 4.
Okay.
All right. So Shane, which ones are yours? Which are your 3 more?
Okay, I have a lot of reoccurring choices with Spencer's list, just because. Sure, Matt has a point that there aren't as many shows that stand out this season. There's still quite a few that looked really cool that I'm looking forward to. So, no particular order. I'm going to give my top 3 and then an honorable mention. Banana Fish, it just looked really cool. And after hearing Matt talk about the source material, I'm even more interested to check that out. Sirius the Jaeger, because I watched the PV, and this looks like, aside from Attack on Titan, this looks like it could be my action show of the season, because it just looked really good, and the animation was top tier.
Plus, Attack on Titan's not covering action this season that much, so you know.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need a dumb action show, and this might be it. And then number 3, Hanebado. We talked about this before we went live. Anyone who knows me knows that I fucking love Keijo. For as stupid and fucking sexist as that show is, it's fucking rad. This looks like Keijo, but with badminton. And for some reason, this has, god tier animation. Just from the PV alone, I was blown away. And I was like, if this is literally just Keijo, but they're playing badminton instead, I'm all for the shit. So someone, please pick this up and license it so I can watch it. I want to watch it. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
And then I had an honorable mention, Matt. Thank you.
What's the honorable mention?
And then my honorable mention, I'm gonna say Grand Blue. I was gonna go Angels of Death, but I'm excited for that show regardless. Grand Blue was one I was on the fence about, just because it looked really cool. But then there were the parts of it that I wasn't really into, mainly the ecchi stuff. But after sitting down and thinking about it and watching the PV a couple more times, it just looked too good to pass up. So it made it from my maybe list to now my watch list. So hopefully someone picks that up so I can watch it. Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm looking forward to. Matt, what about you?
My most anticipated this season is Banana Fish. I've been waiting for this for a while. And I'm very, very excited to see it finally come out, because it's done by the person directing it has got a great staff involved at Studio Mappa. It's based on highly influential source material that's just been begging for an anime adaptation for the past fucking couple decades. This is just something this just has recipe for success all over it. My second is Angels of Death, because I think it looks dope as hell. And definitely looks, out of all like the spooky shows this season, it looks like the most spooky and the best spooky. As for number 3, I'm gonna go for number 3. I'm probably gonna go Grand Blue, because I think that overall, I think Grand Blue looks like Grand Blue. One, I think out of all the animation, this looks like one of the best animated shows of the season.
Mm-hmm.
The animation looks great.
I will agree with you there.
Great staff involved. I love the source, like apparently the source material is based on is really good. Like it just seems like Shane mentioned, there's ecchi stuff in it, but it doesn't look overbearing ecchi, if that makes any sense. It doesn't look overbearing to the point where like it's gonna take over the show.
Yeah,
it looks like just I mean, it's also set at like a beach.
It's no killing bites.
No killing bites, but even then, killing bites, it wasn't overbearing either.
Yeah, no, not really. I don't. When I think of ecchi, I don't inherently think of killing bites.
He thinks of Nakaimo. That's what happened.
Fucking that kind of shit.
He thinks of Nakaimo.
Harem is forever fucking soiled for me because of that fucking shit.
The first harem show you watch is it's garbage.
Even though I know that High School DD is supposed to be really good, I'm gonna be fucking skeptical now because Nakaimo literally ruined my life, guys. I don't know if you knew this. It put me in a psychiatric ward. I had to get several months of professional help. I'm finally just now getting back on my feet, so I don't need anything like that to come in and throw a monkey wrench in my plans anymore.
Damn.
That's why I was skeptical about Grand Blue at first, because I'm like, the ecchi, and then I thought about it more and more, and I'm like, it just looks really good regardless of that. So hopefully it's not too overbearing that it ruins everything, because otherwise it looks really good.
Yeah, and like, and my honorable mention is you and the Haunted Hot Springs, because on all the anime forums that I go on, all the anime sites that I go on, there has been like a legion of people who have been hyping this adaptation up for like half a year, and it's getting to that point. It's like, you know, when like someone's been hyping up something people have been hyping something up for so long, and it comes out, and you're finally just, okay, what the fuck is this? And then you just kind of like have to watch it to figure, or like read it in order to figure out what the hell people are talking about. That's how I feel about this, because people are hyping this shit up. I don't ecchi. From what I've heard, it's not. It has ecchi elements, but it's not like that at all. So like I don't know. But you know, I'm interested. It's also Studio Beck, who did Keijo and a bunch of other stuff. And they do good work, so I'm really excited. It's from Jump too, so it's a Jump manga, so that's something.
That's something.
Yeah, and they have a good track record recently. So let's hope that's good. And with that, I think we're pretty much done talking about the
seasons.
The seasons, and now we're gonna move on to like to a couple of news stories. I've only picked a few.
Not too many.
Not too many. First major news story is that Dragon Ball Z is back to theaters.
Right, I saw this.
The Toei Animation and Fathom Events announced on Friday they will screen remastered versions of 3 different Dragon Ball Z films this fall in prep for the Dragon Ball Super movie. All screenings will feature an English dub, and tickets will go on sale in 2 days. As we are live right now, and so we on June 27th. The 3 films that will be premiering will be on September 15th and 17th. There will be we'll have Broly the Legendary Super Saiyan. And on November 3rd and 5th, we'll have a double feature of Bardock, the Father of Goku, and Fusion Reborn. Those will be the 3 films that will be released in theaters once again in prep for the Dragon Ball Super movie. I have never seen outside of Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. I have not seen the OG Dragon Ball films in theaters.
Whoa! In theaters. Never mind.
Yeah, I've seen them.
I panicked for a second.
No, dude, I've seen all of them. I've just never seen anything post everything pre Battle of Gods. I've never seen in the theaters.
I have not seen any of them in theaters because I never got a chance to see Resurrection F when it was here.
Wow, and I did.
Yeah, and Spencer, the person who's never seen an episode of Dragon Ball Z, did. So,
Yeah.
how do you feel about that, Shane?
Well, guess what? I fucking have it on Blu-ray HD digital copy,
I
so
have the
fuck
collector's-
both of you.
I have the collector's edition. So.
Well, you can suck my nards, Matt. The show's canceled.
The show is over. No more G.A.P.
No more G.A.P.
This is
Hold
the-
on. I'm
I'm taking it
exiting
off.
OBS now. Goodbye, everyone.
No, just please, no. But it's I'm excited for this. Hopefully they come to Windsor because this is a Fathom event.
We'll see.
The Fathom events are very known for being very finicky. But hopefully they come to Canada.
Hopefully. Because I would love to see Fusion Reborn remastered on the big screen. That sounds amazing.
Remastered the original Broly film and also Bardock. I would love to. All three of these are great.
I would have loved if they got History of Trunks, but can't
no,
be too picky.
No, but honestly, the three they picked are all excellent.
Oh yeah.
So it's like they picked basically the three of the best ones.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like we ain't complaining. But hopefully they show up. Speaking of stuff that just showed up, we got the news today.
Literally this morning, like 2 hours ago.
Like before we started, before we went live, that Golden Kamuy has been confirmed. We'll get a second season in October. The 12th and final episode of the television anime of Golden Kamuy of the Kamuy manga revealed on Monday that the anime will get a second season that will premiere in October. So this fall, the new season will air on the same networks as the first season, and will follow directly off of the first season. I have seen one episode of Golden, only one, and honestly, and it's mainly because I did not have time to watch it, and I want to because I loved that first episode. So. I'm honestly, even though I've only seen one episode, I'm very excited for this. Shane has seen more though, and he's really excited for this.
I am completely up to date with Golden Kamuy. At least, not the finale because that literally just aired as we're streaming right now. But yeah, spoilers. This show was in my top 3 for the spring season outside of My Hero.
And Megalobox, so it's between. It's Megalobox above it too.
Megalobox outside of My Hero was my top pick for the season, but Golden Kamuy is in my top 3. So it's really good. Coming from me, who was on the fence at first because I wasn't exactly sure what to think of the show. Yeah, it definitely got better, and I definitely got more involved. And at this point, I'm like, this show's awesome. Just give me more. Which weirded me out because the way things were going leading up to the finale, it seemed like it was going to be a really rushed ending. But now that we've gotten this news that there's going to be a second season this fall, I'm like, okay, I'm good. That's all I needed to know. All my worries have gone out the window. Just give me more Golden Kamuy. We're good to go.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for this.
Yeah. I need to read the manga too for the second one. So it's definitely one of those it's definitely one of those cases where if you have, definitely one of those cases that it's an anime that actually very very either I'll read the manga or watch the anime. There's literally I'll usually pick one or the other. Golden Kamuy is like one of the few that I'm like, you know what, this actually makes me to read the manga as well. So like it's one of those. So
yeah,
that's a good sign. Spencer, you've seen a bit of Golden Kamuy, right?
Yep. I started watching the dub.
He was watching the dub, yeah.
How do you like Golden Kamuy?
I mean, as a history major, I love the style and the story they're telling. As a fan of westerns, it's basically like a fancy Sergio Leone, but in Japan.
Yeah, it's a western in the truest sense of the word.
Yeah. The dub's really good.
Dubs, yeah, I've heard the dub's really good.
I've heard the dub really good. I didn't watch it in dub.
I was going to, but the simul dub started this season really late, so I just said fuck it and started watching the sub.
And honestly, it's one of those shows that because it's so entrenched in Japanese culture, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna watch in Japanese.
Yeah, I'm glad I just went with the sub too, because the subs are really good.
Yeah, this is a show that has a really good dubbed sub. Like actors in both languages do a fantastic job.
Like the Japanese version's really good, but then on the dub side, you get Ian Sinclair and Monica Rial as Sugimoto and Asurpa, and it's like, okay, all right.
So no matter what you pick, you're gonna get good performances. So
yeah, no matter what you pick, you're getting a good thing, and I'm actually thoroughly enjoying this show. Like, it's very, very, very good.
Yeah, I'm really. Yeah, like I said, I've only seen one episode, but like literally, like that one episode had me enthralled throughout its entirety of its runtime. When it was done, I was like, "It's already done." Oh, like I was really like, I loved that first episode, and honestly, just hearing it gets even better.
It definitely gets better.
Oh my god, and that just gets me even more excited to watch.
Like there's a scene in a later episode. I think it's episode 9. I'm not gonna spoil it. But holy shit. This show's great, man. Off.
All right.
Damn it. I want to tell you so bad, but spoilers. I'm not going to, but it's fucking great.
We have another piece of news that also came out today. That I think Spencer will be very, very happy about.
Oh god, this could go either way.
The official that JC staff that Konosuba is returning.
Really?
Konosuba's returning, not with the new season, but with the movie.
Konosuba movie.
The official website for the anime franchise based on Natsume Akatsuki's Konosuba light novel series revealed on Monday that the franchise will be getting an anime film. We've known for a while, we've known for basically a year actually, that there's a new anime project that was in the works, but we didn't know if it was a new season, if it was a movie, if it was an OVA. We didn't know, but it's just been revealed today that it's a movie. That there's no release date for it. The director for the TV show will be directing the film. Same with the screenwriters, as well as basically the entire staff is returning, along with the entire original cast. It is currently unknown whether or not the movie is going to follow the light novels or will be an original story. So, Spencer, you love Konosuba, right?
I love Konosuba. It's so stupid.
How do you feel about this news?
I'm very excited. I'm genuinely excited. I love Konosuba, and just getting more Konosuba is okay in my books. Whether it be a movie, a fucking 5-minute short film, I don't care. Just give me more.
Yeah, Shane has yet to see Konosuba, but it's been on his list for quite a while.
Konosuba is one of those things that I've been meaning to watch for a while, but I've just never gotten around to, and everyone who's watched it that I know has told me, Konosuba's great, and you should watch it.
Konosuba's great, and you should watch it.
Thank you, Spencer. I appreciate it.
But instead of watching Konosuba, you decided to watch 146 episodes of Hunter x Hunter.
148, thank you, and it's one of the best things I've ever seen, so go fuck yourself.
148, and it's a classic stuff.
It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life, so you can go suck your own dick.
Wow.
Wow.
You know if I could, I would.
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah, Konosuba is one of those things I've been meaning to get to for a while. Hopefully we cover it on the show soon, so that I actually have a reason. So that I actually have a push to actually finally watch it.
If it's an anime, it's not an answer of if. It's an answer of when. It's when. Yeah, so
we're gonna be the G.A.P's gonna be going until we're like 50, and we're gonna cover every anime that's ever existed.
we're gonna talk about every anime that's ever been made ever.
In fucking 2052. When we're like going into our 60s, the internet has become
60s, and I can finally say, yeah. So that new Madoka Magica movie was pretty good.
The Madoka Magica. If Madoka Magica is still going in like 50 years, I will be very impressed.
It won't.
Okay.
I mean,
can I get some quiet? Can I get some quiet for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Ready? There you go.
Okay.
But
yeah, Konosuba.
I just wanted a nice isolated sound of a pop can opening.
Konosuba is getting the movie, and we don't know when it's coming out. Probably next year. So it will be.
Yeah.
But it's coming. Our last piece of news, though, is probably the big weeks. it's for the announcement of an anime that I'm pretty sure literally every anime fan on the planet has been waiting for, and that's JoJo Part 5 is happening.
Yes,
Ventorio. Ventorero. Manga creator Hirohiko Araki announced on Thursday that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Ventorero will receive an animation that will premiere in October. The first episode of the anime will be screened on July 5th. And at the Japan Expo in France, because you forget that France fucking loves JoJo for some reason. And we'll also stream an Anime Expo on July 7th. There will be. They also did confirm that there will be more Rohan coming too. So the Vento.
Okay, good, because I actually like that OPA.
Yeah, same. But that's all coming. They also confirmed recently they didn't confirm, but from a leaked production schedule, it was revealed that Ventorero will be 39 episodes, so the same length as Diamond is Unbreakable, which makes complete sense because both are around the same length in terms of
stories.
So Spencer, you are probably the biggest JoJo fan here. How do you feel about this news?
We waited for so long. It's finally coming home.
I mean, it wasn't
finally
that long.
It's the longest wait between JoJo seasons.
I get that, but still, just in general time, it wasn't that long.
We can stop the memes about not having Part 5 and start making new memes about having Part 5.
I've already seen dozens of them, okay?
Dude, okay. The reason for this one, aside from the wait, is that Part 5 is the most divisive of the JoJo parts. You either love Part 5...
In North America.
Yeah, at least in North America.
Japan is the most popular, so...
Yeah. You either love Part 5 because you recognize it as Araki finally getting his style, and also you like Italy and gangsters and some very unsubtle homoerotic tension.
This is the gayest part.
This is the gayest part.
No, I mean, this is when JoJo goes full gay. Like, it was gay before, but, like, it's now super gay.
Full gay. Like, or you hate it because you find that both the hero's stand and the enemy stand are way too confusing. They introduce Requiem stands, which is interesting, and Silver Chariot Requiem is one of my favorite Requiem stands. But the story is even more stupid because they put a gem into a turtle, and then they find out that the turtle has a stand, and...
I mean, there's a dog with a stand, so like...
True, but this is a turtle whose stand activates only when you put the gem into its shell.
JoJo is stupid, ladies and gentlemen.
JoJo is stupid. However, I'm just really excited because after seeing what David Productions did with Part 4, it makes me go... Oh, it doesn't make me. I am going to go back and I'm going to watch Part 3 dub. So...
yeah, I'm really excited for this too. Like fucking JoJo. If it wasn't for My Hero Academia, I would safely say Diamond is Unbreakable is the best action show of the past decade. Like it was something really special. Shane is not caught up on JoJo. But from what you have seen JoJo, what do you think of JoJo?
I love JoJo. Like, even though I haven't seen too much of it, I've only seen the first 2 parts in full. I'm currently on Stardust Crusaders. I can easily see why this is considered a classic, because this shit is just fucking rad. Like, battle tendency alone was all I needed to make me fall in love with this shit. So hopefully I will have the time to catch up on JoJo and watch Part 3 and 4 before Part 5 airs.
Dude, Part 5 has a part where Giornos turns a guy's banana into a gun and he shoots himself in the head.
Okay, so you're telling me I need to catch up, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Part 5 is ridiculous.
Part 5 gets... It's great. JoJo's back, and it's coming back this year. So get ready, folks.
Get ready,
Spencer's
folks.
Heart has also returned with JoJo.
Yeah. And before we get into our featured anime, I just want to discuss the
sales.
The sales chart. Now the highest seller this week. The highest that we had a couple of interesting notices this week. For one, Violet Evergarden is still on the list for Blu-ray sales.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's holding in there. It's one of those things where it's really getting, where it's doing really. I think it has a lot of legs. It's doing really well in terms of legs. So so which bodes well considering that Violet Evergarden is actually getting more of it is coming. So that really helps it, I think. But the biggest seller this week was for a show that none of us watched, but it was from the winter season, and that's Token Rambu. I'm pretty sure I think me and when we did our winter coverage, we talked about it. It was Shane. It was that show that was done by a Chinese company. That was Hanamaru. I'm pretty sure you know what that. I don't know if you know what that is or not. Yeah, I had to look it up, so I didn't remember it, but that was the biggest seller from this week, which is surprising considering that is
weird.
Yeah, well, considering it's a Chinese show too, so Chinese show too. Takagi-chan also did really well this week.
Ooh.
With this most recent thing. The week before this, the previous winner was the Code Geass film, which in 2 weeks has sold almost 15,000 copies. So now you can see why they brought back Code Geass, because it makes a lot of money.
It makes money.
It makes a lot of money.
So when are we covering Code Geass on the podcast?
We will. When season 3 airs, that's when the next season airs. We'll be covering Geass. That is the plan.
Gotcha.
So, honestly, this week was kind of dead in terms of other stuff. Love Live's still in the top 20. Still selling. Same with Fate's Day. And what else? For the 55th week in a row, Ground Blue is also still in the top 20.
What? Why? What?
Because Ground Blue's good, okay?
I mean, we've seen an episode.
We watched that first episode, and yeah, it was really good. But wow, for over a full year in a row,
yeah,
you're in the top selling.
It's really fucking popular.
It's not at least it's not freaking on My Neighbor Totoro, which in its 205th week is in for the DVD list at number 4.
What?
They love Totoro over there.
Japan. What is? I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but like,
yeah. Shane is.
I think I actually felt my brain stop for a second there.
Are you okay, Shane?
I think I can go on.
Okay, we're done. Yeah, we're done here. And that's the anime sales chart for this week. Now we move on to our featured anime of the podcast. As you know, you can tell from the art featured anime of the podcast is Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad. Directed and written by Osamu Kobayashi, and from Studio Madhouse. It aired for 26 episodes from October 7th, 2004 to March 31st, 2005. It's currently licensed by Funimation, which you can watch in the link below. If you're watching this post-live, you can watch it in the link below.
Subbed and dubbed on Funimation now.
It is subbed and dubbed on Funimation now. Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad follows a young boy named Koyuki, who is kind of wandering, who feels that he's in a rut in his life. Even though he's only in middle school, he already feels like he has nowhere to go, until one day he meets a teenager named Ryusuke. Ryusuke has a dog named Beck who's like kind of like this weird looking dog who's never kind of ever seen before. and he helps save. He basically helps bring Beck back to him, and he finds out that Ryusuke has a passion for music. He's a natural savant at the guitar, and he's kind of something of a prodigy. And Koyuki gets inspired and slowly starts to get into music himself. And the series follows him, Ryusuke, and a bunch of a couple of other musicians who eventually come together, form the band Beck. And this is basically their lives, basically. Not their lives, basically a couple of years of their lives. So, Shane, what did you think of Beck Mongolian Chop Squad?
I'm just gonna put this out right now. Based randomizer loves us, apparently.
Yeah, like, the based randomizer. Like, this is the outside of Nakaimo.
Fourth?
Yeah, this is the fourth randomizer.
Outside of Nakaimo, we've had nothing but quality with the randomizer.
But Nakaimo, you kind of brought that amongst yourself.
I brought that on myself. I brought the wrath upon myself. I will take full responsibility for that. Okay.
The day has yet to come when we have not purposely gotten a shit show.
Yeah.
It will happen. We'll unintentionally get a bad show through the randomizer at some point. It's bound to happen.
We thought we were gonna get that like right off the bat, and we got Bebop of all things.
We got Bebop, then we got Poco, then we got
Nakaimo, which you know whatever. And then we got Blast of Tempest.
We got Blast of Tempest, which honestly I'd say outside of Nakaimo, I think Blast might be the weakest of them.
But even then, it wasn't far down from the rest.
Yeah, but it was still awesome. So
yeah. So like, the trend continues with Beck because I had no idea what to expect with this show because I don't watch very many musical anime. I need to step up my game on that. So I didn't really know what to expect from the show. And as I started watching it, I was pretty into it. Like, it was a very solid 8 out of 10. There were definitely things I felt could have been improved or better, but overall I was enjoying it. And then this weird thing happened where Beck, surprisingly, of all shows, is one of those series that the further you go along, the better it gets. Like, every episode just keeps getting better and better. The storytelling, the characterization, and the writing just keeps getting better. It's just a gradual climb in quality throughout the entire series. And I was really taken aback by that because I wasn't expecting it. But I'm glad that we did get the show because by the end, this turned out to be one of the best and, more importantly, most memorable shows that I've seen in a while. Like, I think even after we're done doing this show, and I have really no reason to go back to it, I think Beck is going to stick in my mind for a while, just because everything about it is so charming and so well crafted that it's hard to forget something like this.
So, Spencer, what did you think of Beck?
Beck is...
Actually, you know what, Spencer, if I can interrupt you.
Yeah, sure.
We all know you love Beck. Probably the most out of all of us. Just in a single noise, express your feelings for Beck, and we'll see if it can properly display the emotions you have for the show.
Okay. In that case, once I make this noise, I want you two to try to parse out what my opinion of Beck is based on this noise. Okay?
Got it.
1 second. Let me get this in my mind. Got it. Ready?
Oh, yeah.
I've only heard Spencer make that noise on a handful of occasions. That noise is the noise Spencer makes when he, in his mind, has seen a true work of art. A potential masterpiece in his mind is devoted to that sound.
Yeah. Is that accurate, Spencer?
That is accurate.
So that's Spencer on Beck.
He'll get more into detail later, I'm sure.
Yeah. Put it on the box art. That noise. Put that noise on the box art.
No, put it on the back of the box. Put a quote. Just Spencer Hill 2018. This show came out in 2004.
This show came out in 2000. This show is old.
Just do a just do a reprint on Blu-ray and just put that on the back of the box set.
Yeah, yeah, Funimation. Where's the fucking Blu-ray reprint of this? But yeah, Beck is great. Beck is one of those shows that's been on my list for a while. Actually, it's been on my radar for years. Because I had heard stuff about it. I knew about the I knew about the opening for years because that's one of those openings that was constantly in like anime compilations.
I was made to hit in America.
I was made to hit in America.
It was one of those openings that was constantly in anime compilations. So I knew that the series existed, and I knew about the opening, and I knew the animation style because Beck, if you go into it not knowing, expecting it, Beck's animation style is really gonna throw you off because it's very different, it's very out there. But as Shane said, Beck is one of those shows that as it goes on just gets better and better. It's definitely a slow burn. Has this purposely meticulous pace to it, where it's slow, but it's not like agonizingly slow. Where like you watch it and you're like, oh, this is so. Can they please move on? Like it's slow, but it's never boring.
No, definitely not.
It's never boring, and you like the fact that it's so slow, and you like the fact that it's kind of laid back, kind of like relaxing at times. Well, at the same time, you also kind of like the slow pace because there's a lot of atmosphere to this show. There's a lot of taking in everything. Like there's a lot of silence in Beck. For a show about music, there's surprisingly a lot of silence in Beck. It keeps the tone, it keeps the silence intact for the most part. I'll bring this up I'll go into more detail as it go on. But I really, really loved Beck, and I want to read the manga too because I've heard this.
Yeah. Matt and I were talking last night as he was finishing up because I showed him some panels from the manga, and the artwork in the fucking manga is top tier. Like like you can see on the screen right now, there's a very nice panel, but that's just the fucking tip of the iceberg, dude. Like, the artwork is so meticulously detailed and so expertly crafted. Like, you can feel not only the emotions, but the sounds of the instruments in each panel. It's honestly just really, really impressive.
Yeah. But Spencer,
yes.
Who was your favorite character from Beck?
Well, I think I know. I think we all know who this is.
It's actually a really difficult question because all the characters, except for the ones that are meant to be villains, but even then, there's no bad character in Beck.
It's another one of those shows where there's not really a character there.
However, my favorite character is, let me get his last name up.
We know who it's gonna be.
We know who it's gonna be.
Yeah, we know who it
is. Tsunemi Chiba. Chiba is the vocalist and does more of the rap pop style songs like Brainstorm or Typhoon, and he's the kind of laid back jokester type where he just wants to get up there and have fun playing music. He just wants to sing and just bounce around. And you could tell that the creator based his look and personality off of the lead singer of Rage Against the Machine, Zach De La Rocha. Because much like De La Rocha, Chiba isn't a good singer. But he has the atmosphere, this aura to him that gets the crowd jumping and pumping and exciting.
He's got the kinetic energy to get the crowd into it.
But he also has extreme loyalty to his bandmates and to his friends, and hates to see anybody that's smaller, so like Koyuki, getting picked on. And he took karate to defend himself, so that's another part of his character, in which he's not this two-dimensional, like, oh, I'm the joke character. Like, no, he's a joke. He's a jokester. He's laid back, but he also knows when to stand up for his friends.
He will fucking roundhouse kick you in the face if you even think about picking on one of his friends.
He will, and it's great.
And he did in the fucking show.
Several times, actually. Several times.
More than once.
He's just a really, really well done character.
Spinning heel kick.
All right, yeah. Shane, who is your favorite character from Beck?
I wonder who it is.
It's actually a hard decision.
I'm so original. Here's the thing. I will openly admit that the best character in the show is Koyuki. Like, without a doubt. He's just so relatable and so well written. You can feel all of his turmoil, his tension. When he does something good, you can feel his excitement. But when something goes wrong, you can feel his agony. Koyuki is definitely, without a doubt, the best character in the show. However, best character and favorite character are two completely different things. So to me, even though I openly acknowledge Koyuki is the best character the show has to offer, my favorite is the punk rock queen of my dreams, Maho. Ah! That's all I have to say. Yeah. That sound is all I have to say. Like, we're like...
I'm with
Put that on the box.
Best fucking girl. Fuck you, Spencer. Hiromi can go fuck off. No.
She can be with Saku.
She can be with Saku. She can be off there with Saku doing whatever. Fucking leave best girl for best boy because Maho, best girl.
Maho is one of those characters that I feel is a perfect example of how this show uses its characters and how three-dimensional it makes them. Because when you first meet Maho, you're like, oh, here it is.
Oh, here it is. She's this character, but then
standard
like
tsundere, the standard the
bitchy character.
Yeah. But really,
but then again,
only a bitch. She's only a bitch for literally one scene, and that's because Koyuki says something really fucking stupid.
Yeah, the thing with Maho that I love is she's so unpredictable. Like at one moment she's caring and loving towards Koyuki, another time she's like ditching him in the friend zone, like, yo, peace, bro, I'm out. At other times she's just a fucking cold-hearted bitch. Like, and doesn't even care about Koyuki's feelings, or so it seems.
I actually think, just to cut in for 1 second, that personality for Maho is actually shown extremely well in the opening for the anime.
Yes, thank you for reminding me about that.
So, aside from the opening, the song itself being really good, you want to talk about visual storytelling? This opening does visual storytelling.
Oh yeah, this is a great opening.
Mm-hmm.
The band's so the part of the opening I'm talking about is the band setting up. Basically, you can tell everything about the characters by the way they turn up. So first is Sato, the drummer, the most level-headed. Yeah, sorry, Saku, the most level-headed of the band members, and really the one that just kind of, since he taught himself drums, is there just to hang out, do music.
He's just there to have fun.
Next up is, I think it's Tyra's next up.
Yeah.
And Tyra shows up and just goes right to his bass playing. He's there for business, to play music and to have, and to just kind of not fool around. Yeah. Then shows up
Chiba.
Chiba shows up with this shit-eating grin, carrying like 5 bags of chips, and then he gets on the microphone and starts like wiggling.
He starts like wiggling his hips back and forth, and it's like, whoa, dude, calm down.
Okay, so then the best part is the next comes in Koyuki, and Koyuki. No, next is Maho.
Koyuki shows up again, and Maho's there first.
Yeah, Maho's waiting for the rest of them.
Yeah, Maho's waiting for the rest of them, but if you know the show, she's obviously waiting for Koyuki.
Obviously,
because the moment that Koyuki shows up, she like points at him in like this gesture. Shiba's face is hilarious because he's like, "Oh shit!" And then
Koyuki's late.
Yeah, because he's late, and then Maho literally chases Koyuki around the fucking scene.
No, I'm so glad that you actually mentioned that, because I was going to mention it if you didn't, because one of my favorite things is that opening where Maho, it just seems she's so friendly and buddy with the rest of the band as they show up, and then fucking Koyuki shows up, and then out of nowhere her like neck like snaps around like The Exorcist, and she's like, "Rah!" And then she chases after fucking Koyuki.
Cause I can almost imagine the Maho looking at Koyuki be like, "You're late. Stop being so late.
You're late, you little bitch." I just love the fact she gets possessed, like her neck just snaps around, she's like, "Koyuki!" And then she fucking just goes after him.
Shit, and fucking runs, and then Ryusuke shows up and is like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, and then Ryusuke's like, fucking kids.
Ugh. I'm Ryusuke and I'm edgy.
I'm Ryusuke and I'm voiced by Eric Vale. Ugh.
Oh.
I sound like exactly like Future Trunks.
I sound like Trunks without all the gruff. Ugh.
Also, she's voiced by Frida Plancia, so...
Yes.
Yeah,
we'll get to performances later.
Maho is my favorite. Maho is absolutely my favorite of the cast. But it's just one of those things. But I like all the main cast members. Like they're all great. So
like every member of the band gets their moment to shine. They're all so fleshed out and likable characters that you can't help but not smile as they're doing their thing together.
But for every least favorite, if a very favorite, there must be a least favorite. Shane, who's your least favorite character in the show?
Okay, Spencer and I were talking about this in the pre-show before we went live. That is not airing anywhere because we weren't recording it. We were actually talking about our potential least favorite characters, and for me, it's a tie. Like, there are two characters that stand out in my mind as, like... one. Yeah, you can probably guess one. But, yeah, my least favorite character is a tie between Yoshida and Leon Sykes.
Yeah.
Because Yoshida is just a fucking prick. He cares about nothing but himself and getting that sweet Maho puss that he puts down anyone he sees as inferior, i.e. Koyuki, who gets the fucking raw end of the stick in that deal, where he takes every opportunity he can to torment this kid and try and drive him away because he feels like he's getting too close to his girl. Maho is his, and Koyuki has no right to be with her. He gets his comeuppance later on in Grateful Sound when his performance gets fucked by the rain. Fuck you, Yoshida, you prick.
It gets fucked by the rain and the stupid fangirls.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, there's Leon Sykes, who gets introduced a little later on in the series. Whereas Yoshida is just a straight up prick and an asshole, Leon is a murderer. Like, he kills people with no fucking hesitation. No, he doesn't even think about it. He's just like, yo, this guy's in my way, pop a cap in him. And it's just like, it's just that lack of humanity that makes me really despise Leon. And he also gets his comeuppance when he gets arrested, which good on him.
He gets arrested for good reason.
For good reason, because he kills people.
He's a murderer.
Spencer, who's your least favorite character?
Once again, on the pre-show, to make us sound more official.
Yeah, to make us sound like this is actually a professional operation.
And, I'm going to go with the opposite of what he said, which is Yoshida, because, okay, Leon Sykes is a terrible person. However, he's an American, this is, businessman, pop, you could look at him in a police lineup and go, yeah, that man kills people. However, Yoshida is my least favorite character because the moment when he seems like he was going to redeem himself is the moment during the Grateful Sound arc, which I can't even say is like a really arc, it's only like 4 or 5 episodes, but during the Grateful Sound arc, when Koyuki gets approached by those band people, by the Crash, and is like, hey, do you want to come sing one of our songs? And he's like, I don't really know it. And Yoshida's like, oh, don't worry, Koyuki, I'll teach you. And then he gives him the wrong song to sing. And Koyuki is, like, being booed off stage and, like, getting harassed and, like, getting yelled at and stuff thrown at him. And it just, the camera pan to Yoshida as he just fucking smirks that not like shit-eating grin, like LOL, you know, I gotcha, but like he's genuinely finding joy in ruining Koyuki's life.
He's a sadist, dude. He's a straight up sadist.
And
like, he derives pleasure from the pain of others.
Everything. Telling him, hey, come to this party. Hey, it's a black tie affair. You gotta wear a suit. And then going, oh yeah, sorry, we don't have enough people here. It's kind of hush hush. It's friends only. Get out.
Yeah, he shows up to the fucking door. Like he shows up to the fucking door, and all of a sudden, like he's like, yeah, go away now, please.
Yeah. And Maho's fed up with his shit too. So like Maho's just like, wow, you fucking dick, and just walks off.
Well, yeah, Yoshida's the worst character.
Yeah, I'm with you. He's annoying. I can't find any other day. Whenever he's on screen, I'm just like, can you go away? can you just stop? Can you stop existing? Can you please go away? Like, it's actually, it's so yeah, like he, so, what is your, favorite episode of Beck, Shane?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm sorry. There was a package delivered to my house. I had to quickly go deal with that.
Live on podcast.
But I am back. The benefits of doing a live show is that anything can happen. It was Pure later too, so I thought I'd have to go sign for something, but he just left it. So fuck.
Oh, that's nice.
I didn't even have to leave. But anyway, what was the question?
Right. What was your favorite episode of Beck?
Okay. Well,
this is a hard one too.
I talked about this briefly with Matt last night, and I've talked about it with Spencer a little bit too. For me, again, much like my characters of choice, my favorite episode is a tie between episode 5 and episode 12. The reason being is that, in my mind, these two episodes are directly linked, because episode 5 introduces character and relationship developments, and then episode 12 takes those from episode 5 and expands upon them, naturally progresses them. Because with episode 5, you get some great character development for Koyuki, with him overcoming his stage fright and learning to cope with playing in front of a crowd of people, while also having great character dynamics between him and Maho, and really fleshing out their relationship. And the finale of episode 5, with them reciting Moon on the Water in the pool, might be my favorite scene in the entire show, not gonna lie. Because it's so emotionally resonant and powerful that it really did leave an impact on me. Also, for the record, Moon on the Water, best song. Best
Incorrect.
Song.
No, incorrect, actually.
You're incorrect, Spencer.
We'll talk about best song later, because that deserves a discussion.
In our humble opinions, the right opinion, Moon on the Water.
Moon on the Water.
Moon on the Water, best song in the entire show.
It's the song that best represents the themes, ideas, and the characters of the show, while also being a very enjoyable song in its own right.
Okay,
Spencer, save it for later, because I'm not done yet. Going off of that, the reason my favorite episode is a tie between 5 and 12 is because, to me, 12 took everything that 5 sort of looked upon, started, and just naturally progressed it. Because in episode 12, it shows the climax of Koyuki's development with his stage fright, where he goes on stage and performs live with Dying Breed, which starts a domino effect of events in the show that we'll most likely cover later. but it shows the natural progression of his development with his performance anxiety, while also delving a little deeper into his relationship with Maho and showing the more negative side of that, with Maho finding out about Koyuki going out with Izumi and taking it the wrong way, and then kind of creating a divide between the two, which I feel is really interesting, because seeing as how this isn't a romance anime, it really had me invested in the romance elements, especially with Koyuki and Maho, because I feel like their relationship was so three-dimensional and so fleshed out in all the right ways. It showed the highs and the lows, especially in these 2 episodes. So that's why, to me, you put these 2 episodes together, favorite parts of the show for me.
Yeah, I'm with Shane. My favorite episode is episode 5, Beck. This is easily my. It's one of those, like, not only does it have one of my favorite musical performances, which is the one where Koyuki's in the singing competition.
And he does face.
Does face? I think he does face. It's just really good. Like, I just love, and he's performing with Maho. Like, that one's just really good. But I also love, it's just like Shane said, the scene in the pool, moving on the water, is so fucking good, and was the thing that really, like, sold the show for me. That was the thing that, like, brought the show to that gave me everything I need to know.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was the moment in the show where I realized this is going to be something special, isn't it?
Yeah, agreed. Spencer, what was your favorite episode of the show? I know what it is.
Yes. So I've talked about this with both of you for exactly why this is. Now, going into more detail, obviously. But my favorite episode is episode 24, otherwise known as Third Stage. And basically, this is during the tail end of the Grateful Sound arc. The band has made it to the Grateful Sound Music Festival. For all intents and purposes, they've done it. They've made it to the stage. However, Ryusuke makes a stupid deal in the episode before. And also Ryusuke says some stupid things to Chiba, and now they're basically down 2 members of the band. Chiba quit, Ryusuke is nowhere to be found, and Koyuki has an idea. And Koyuki's idea is, and this is why I would argue that this is the best song thematically in the show, in which it's different. Okay, so it in the Japanese version, it was actually a cover song of the Beatles' I Have a Feeling. But obviously, due to copyright, they couldn't put that into the English version. So what they did instead was they took the melody from I Have a Feeling and the words from 50 Cents of Wisdom by Dying Breed, and Koyuki himself changes the words, and that's what makes this episode amazing, because when Koyuki walks up there, it's a small crowd. I think they said, 200 people?
500. No, it was 50.
It was 500.
Was it 500? Oh, I thought it was way less than that.
It's 500.
It was 500 people when they start.
Still the biggest crowd they've ever had.
Yeah, and Koyuki walks up on stage, and it cuts to the crowd, and it's like you have Izumi's friend, who she was hilarious. You have a couple of people that were with, Maho. You have
Ricky.
You have Ricky. You have
Hiromi was in there.
Yeah,
Hiromi was in there. Best Girl was in there.
Incorrect.
And Koyuki goes up there and he starts just to play. He starts to pour his heart out and sing this song, and people are getting into it. And then it cuts in, and Saku is he kind of you can see on his face that he's not ready to give up yet. So then Saku joins the song, and you get the drums, the backbeat. Koyuki hears this, and he starts to sing with more heart. And then Taira comes on, and then Ryusuke shows up, and it's just the song is a perfect example of how the band only works when all of them are together. Yes, they're good musicians, but Koyuki is officially, at that point, he becomes the linchpin that's keeping the band together. Without Koyuki, you have no Beck. And because of this episode and like the thematic nature of the song and the performance, and even the way that the characters are set up with, Ryusuke getting Prudence back, it's just this outstanding visual masterpiece of explaining a story without exposition. And it's just it's my favorite episode.
All right.
Very solid argument there.
All right. That's my favorite episodes. Anything else we want to talk about? Like, that's good before we get into anything else?
The soundtrack.
The OST.
The motherfucking glory that is this OST.
Which is amazing.
Oh.
I want to bring up something that I love about this show. There is no music in this show unless it's being played in universe.
Yep.
There's no sound. All the soundtrack to this show is all in universe. But that being said, the soundtrack that we do get is fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. Every single one of Beck's songs is great. All of the Dying Breed songs are great. Just the random songs they put in are great. Like, it's just an example of every song in the show is color. Although I do find it funny that at the final episode there was this really distracting fact that fucking Last Dinosaur from FLCL's in this damn show, and that was really, really distracting to me.
I didn't even catch that.
It was during the final episode with Tyga's new band. That's Last Dinosaur from The Pillows. It's from FLCL. Like, once you hear it, once you know it's Last Dinosaur, you can't unhear it, because then you're like, oh my god, it's actually Last Dinosaur. But whatever. The soundtrack overall is great. I have a couple of outside of Moon on the Water, which is my favorite song on the show. I think my favorite song might be Face or Brainstorm, one of the two. I really like the
my favorite Beck song is Brainstorm, definitely.
Yeah.
Just because I'm more into that faster, more energetic style of music.
Yeah.
I love the punk rock, so that song was a real treat for me.
Yeah. Brainstorm's great. Spencer, what's your favorite? What's some other your favorite song?
Well, okay, so outside of the English rendition of I Have a Feeling, it would go in order. Brainstorm's number 2.
Okay, can we stop the live stream? I have stuff I need to do. I actually need to call somebody. This is really important, so...
Okay, you go, we'll continue, just come back.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Spencer, continue.
So aside from Brainstorm... aside from I Have a Feeling, the English rendition, Brainstorm's number 2. Then would be Face. Then would be Typhoon. And that'll be like my top 4.
We can all agree that just this soundtrack is phenomenal, and the music is the heart of this show. Without the soundtrack that it has, I don't think this show would have been anywhere near as good. Because the music is what brings everything together.
It's a music show. It's about a band. If you don't have good music in your music show, then you failed as a music anime.
Yeah. If it didn't have the soundtrack that we got, it definitely wouldn't have been as good. I know Matt, when he gets back from his very important business call, I know he's going to talk about the animation and the art style and how he's going to gush over it. I am not as keen on the animation as he is, and potentially Spencer is. For me, it was definitely off at first. Like, seeing Madhouse tied to this thing, I got really excited because, like, oh, Madhouse, this is going to have stellar animation. It's not what I thought at first. This show's art style is very, very quirky. Like, you can tell that this is the work of a very specific director. Like, one of those directors that has a very unique visual style. You can tell. It's all over this show. It's very wonky at times, and I honestly wasn't too keen on it for most of the show. Like, it did gradually grow on me more and more, but at the same time, I definitely wasn't blown away by the animation. Matt would probably tell you different. But Spencer, what did you think of the animation?
I'm kind of in a middle ground between both of you, in which I can see that it's not exactly top par for Madhouse or really for anime in general. However, I believe that was... I'm sorry, I'm tired. However, I believe that was on purpose, and it's kind of quirky, very washed out art style and animation really shines near the end, where it's shown in like kind of weather. It's good. I enjoyed it, but it's
I won't say that it's bad, because the show definitely does not look bad. It's just at certain points, for me, being an animation buff, because I'm all about animation, just seeing the style of the show and how wonky it could get was definitely a little distracting for me at times. It did gradually grow on me. I will say this show does look good, but it's definitely not, in my mind, like top tier animation. Like,
the animation style does take a while.
Yeah, it does take a while.
It's very different.
Okay, well, Matthew, what did you think of the animation now that you're back from your important business call?
It was good. It's good. When it's really good, it's really good. But the thing is that it takes a while to get used to, because it has done. The guy who directed it, his name is Osamu Kobayashi, and he has a very distinct style. And this is his style, and you can tell because he produced it, he wrote it, and he directed this thing. So this is his anime through and through. And when the animation in this is good, it's really good. But like at times it does try. It's a little. You can tell that this thing didn't have the largest budget.
Yeah.
So not a bad thing, but like you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I liked it. I liked it overall. I like the animation overall. Anything in terms of other things? Is there anything about the show you particularly didn't like that you want to bring up?
Hello, I'm here to give you my humble opinions that many will probably disagree on, but that's fine. Aside from the animation not particularly wowing me, there were a couple things narratively that I wasn't too keen on. Two in particular. One of them is more of a nitpick than anything, but one of them I genuinely do have a problem with. I'll start with the nitpick first. I've talked to you guys about this before. Beck the dog is kind of pointless in the grand scheme of things here, because you can tell that Beck is meant to be a big deal because he's plastered all over this. It's named after him. The band's named after him. He's on every title card, every cover. Beck's all over this show. But in the grand scheme of things, he's really just kind of there. Like, to be perfectly honest, I see Beck not so much as a character in his own right, but more so of a plot device to get Koyuki and Ryusuke together. Because other than that chance happening, where Koyuki gets chased down by Beck and then meets Ryusuke, Beck serves no other narrative purpose in the show. And to me, I see that as a negative, not because it's really important or anything, just because of what Beck is. Because Beck isn't a normal dog. He's this weird Frankenstein's monster of a dog that's comprised of a bunch of different breeds sewn up together. And I found that really distracting, because in a show like this that is so grounded in reality, having a fucking zombie dog here with no explanation is really distracting and kind of takes away from the narrative just a tiny little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, And
Yeah.
it makes it even worse when we find out that there's more than one of these dogs in the world. And yet it still gets no explanation. Like, where do they come from? How did they become this? Are they monsters, aliens? Like, what are they? In a show as realistic as this, and as much time as it focuses on being as grounded as possible, having Beck here and another dog like him with zero explanation is incredibly jarring and extremely out of place. And honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of that.
Yeah, I can understand. Spencer, is there anything you particularly didn't like?
I mean, I could forgive almost anything, almost everything, strictly because I was having such a good time. But yeah, I gotta agree a bit with Shane, in which, as much as I really didn't care about Beck, like, the use of him, was there a more forgettable animal character than Beck? Because Beck just really didn't do anything. Paige was more intricate to the story.
Paige the bird, best animal in the show.
Just showed asshole at you.
Asshole!
There you go. And but it would be more along the lines of what Shane said. Kind of, Beck doesn't really serve that big of a purpose.
I kind of have another nitpick. This one is a little more serious plot-wise, but I, for some reason, have less of a problem with it than the Beck thing. To me, as much as I enjoyed the ending, and I feel like it's a great wrap-up for everyone's character arcs and the show in general, I feel like they kind of jumped the gun on breaking Beck up, because in episode 25, the band gets disbanded. Everyone goes their separate ways, and it's kind of implied that Beck is done. Beck is no more, and they'll never reunite. And then in the next episode, they just get back together like nothing ever happened. And to me, that was really distracting, because to me, I would have preferred if they had done one or the other, rather than breaking them up to serve a narrative purpose, and then just completely just retconning what they just did and getting them back together, like, immediately. That, to me, was a little weird. But for some reason, I have less of a problem with that than the Beck thing, because what the fuck is Beck? But, yeah, I did genuinely have a problem with that. Other than that, the show's great, and I really have no issues with it, besides those two things.
Yeah, most of my issues with it are like is that it's slow burn, but it's still slow burn. It definitely takes a while to really get going. I'd say a couple of episodes. I want to say like episode 5 is where it really starts to get going. Before then, it's just kind of slow. And it's kind of, and it's what I really like, and while I really even like the first couple of episodes, I will admit that for a lot of people it's gonna be too slow. And
yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, I could see a lot of people dropping this just because it doesn't have the fastest pace.
Yeah,
like,
but at the same time, it's
like,
really.
No, sorry, you go ahead.
No. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Like, but once you get to episode 5, then it picks up, and it's like, yeah, here we go.
Yeah. But I could see a lot of people just getting bored with this right off the bat, which is really a shame, because this show gets really good. So is there anything else we want to talk about before we wrap things up?
I mean, one small thing that I want to talk about is just how fucking good the comedy is in this show.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised Matt didn't mention that before now.
No, this show's sense of humor is great. I love the deadpan humor in this.
It's incredibly deadpan, and I mean, Matthew, I'm gonna mention it, but 2 quotes that come to mind when they mention the humor. One is, fuck the noodles!
Fuck the noodles is the best quote in this entire show.
Especially, like, it works both out of context and in context. Chiba, your noodles are getting cold.
Fuck the noodles!
And, the other one is, well, Koyuki, to snip or not to snip? That is the question.
Fucking Saito.
It's incredibly well done comedy, especially when girls walk up to Koyuki and are like fawning over him and then walk away, and just either his buddy or Saku just comes out of nowhere and just goes, and just nods in approval.
Yes. You're doing well.
I thought you said you're doing well, Shoto.
Yes, you're doing well, Shoto. You're abiding to the vision I had for you, even though I abused you to shit. But
Todoroki!
yes, shut! Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Anyways,
yeah. I think we're pretty much done here.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we can get the final scores.
Yeah, so what's your final score, Shane, for Beck?
Okay, well, again, like I said, I went into the show not knowing what to expect. And by the end of it, I got an extremely memorable music comedy show that had a lot of great character and heart. And it just kept getting better. I don't know how they did it, but it kept getting better. And I found myself, after each episode, getting more and more invested in these characters and their lives and whether or not they would succeed. And by the end of it, I was very much into the show. So it did have some issues for me. Again, I don't think the animation is anything stellar, and the few narrative quarrels that I have with it were distracting, but nothing really impeded my overall enjoyment of the show. So at the end of it, I'd have to give Beck a very solid, a very high 9 out of 10. This show far surpassed any expectations I had for it, and by the end of it, I kind of wanted more. I just wanted to see more of Koyuki and the band and what they would get into in the future. So yeah, easy 9 out of 10 for me.
9 out of 10. Spencer?
This is one of the greatest music-based animes and dubs I've
we didn't even talk about the dub. Like,
dub's really, 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 really good, and this is one of those rare cases where I would honestly say watch the dub over the sub.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, Shane said it best when he was describing the noise I made, in which, in my mind, this is a masterpiece. This is something that when you make a music anime, you should strive to be. And that's why Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad, for me, gets a 10 out of 10.
Very rare 10 out of 10 from Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
A rare 10 out of 10.
All right, Matt. So, what score do you give Beck?
That's difficult to me because there's a lot of. This could easily be a 10 out of 10, but at the same time, I don't think. I don't think there's. It takes a little too long to get going. I think that overall, I think that it has enough elements in it to be. It's a very high 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of. It very much deserves that score. And if you haven't seen Beck, watch it. It's absolutely fantastic. It's just that there's one too many minor grievances I have with it that just kind of build up. So it's not a 10 out of 10 for me.
I wholeheartedly agree with Matthew, but I respect Spencer's opinion. This could very well be a 10 out of 10 for either of us. But
agreed, yeah.
There are a few little tiny issues that hold it back.
Mm-hmm. So, with that, that's scores for Beck, and that is us covering Beck. Damn good show from the randomizer. But now it's time to pick the next featured anime, which it's Shane's turn to pick.
Yeah, boy, it's your boy.
So Shane, what is your choice for featured anime?
Well, for those who don't know, we usually alternate between our choices for the featured anime. One week, we will handpick it. The other week, we will randomize it on the randomizer. This was a randomizer show, so this time we get to handpick a show for next podcast, and this is my first pick for the podcast, because I talked to Matt. We're going to be alternating between us for our hand picks from now on, so one hand pick will be Matt, the next will be me, back and forth. You get the picture. So, for my first hand-picked featured anime for the G.A.P, I decided to go with something that's a little more relevant than I would usually pick if this was earlier or later. Because the show we're going to be covering next is very relevant, especially in the summer season, because the next season of this highly anticipated anime is going to be airing in the summer, just a couple of weeks from now, like less than a month from premiering.
Yes.
So next time, in 2 weeks, on the next episode of the G.A.P, we will be covering, for our featured anime, the 2013 acclaimed smash hit Attack on Titan.
Are you telling me that I'll get to relive those couple of years where everybody was cosplaying as Attack on Titan?
Yes, where everyone was part of the service corps. Yes. Yes, you will.
Everyone was part of the scout regiment, yes.
Yes.
Well, was that fucking...
Yomacon. When we went to Yomacon,
right?
there was like a bajillion of them.
There was like trillions of fucking... They had like a cosplay like 2-hour slot where it was just all Attack on Titan. I was
that's
like,
because that's one of the easiest cosplays you can do. Like,
you just buy the fucking suit.
Yeah. But anyway, so next time on G.A.P, we will be covering Attack on Titan. Seeing as how the third season is just about to air, what better time than ever to cover this smash hit, global phenomenon of an anime. We'll be covering both season 1 and 2 back to back, and it's going to be fun. I'm actually very excited to get back into Attack on Titan, because I watched season 1 like 3 years ago at this point, and I haven't even seen season 2 yet, so this is going to be both a catch-up and a nice trip down memory lane. So I'm very excited for this.
For those of you who don't know, just to end it off, how many episodes are there in total?
Right now, there are 37 episodes. Season 1 is 25, and Season 2 is 12.
And Season 3 is confirmed for 24.
Okay, so Season 3 is going to be a double core. Good to know, good to know.
There we go, fans.
There you go. If you want to watch Attack on Titan in anticipation for our next G.A.P,
start now.
Yeah, start now, because
it's kind of long.
It's a little long. It's on the longer side, but 2 weeks is plenty of time to get through this.
Yeah,
so.
but yeah. And with that, I think we're pretty much done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I had fun doing this. This was fun.
This was good.
This was good.
This was mediocre.
I didn't have to worry about accidentally muting my audio.
Yeah, don't worry. If anything fucks up, it's on me, because I'm running this whole operation today.
But I think we're pretty much done here. My name is Matt, aka Legion Rex, and I am your host. With me, I have my standard co-host Shane, aka the Bearded One.
Well, anime, fuck.
And we also have a reoccurring guest star, Spencer.
I'm the guest star. Anime.
And we hope you have had I hope you really enjoyed this stream, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll see you guys next time.
We'll see you in 2 weeks for Attack on Titan.